Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Kerbal Space program. In the last episode, we gathered our science in the Joule system by, transferring and encountering several of its moons, gathering as much science as we possibly could fit onto that vehicle, and then got it escaped from Joule and in a solar orbit and ready to come back home. And I went ahead and off-screen set up the maneuver node for that. I got that maneuver node set up correctly. And then we also went through the ELU encounter, went through the ELU capture, and gather of science from ELU, at least that all the science the probe could get. So that's done. I also went ahead and escaped from ELU off-screen and set up the maneuvers for both those probes to get back home. And if we go into the tracking station and we look at this thing. Should probably kill that maneuver node or something. I thought about sending up a vehicle to rendezvous with it and rescue it. But it appears that it is escaped. Huh. Interesting. It got launched into an escape trajectory. Apparently. Oh well. No big loss there. Alright, so the ELU probe's maneuver is 2 years and 392 days out. And Joule probe's maneuver is 1 year, 259 days out to do the, to return to Kerbin. So we got some time before we need to worry about those. So we're going to go back to working on the moon station, because I got a mission to plan for that. Some things to take care of there. And start beginning some of the resourcing operations that we're going to want to start working on from the moon. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Well, today, we're going to start with a kind of multifaceted mission that I want to kind of put together here. So it's going to be a fairly complex payload, I think, that we're going to put together here. So we unlocked the new logistics container modules. So these things can carry all kinds of stuff related to the production chain system that is included in the USI mods. And one of them is the material kits that we are going to need. So this thing's what, 2 tons on its own, this container. And we're going to need it to carry material kits. Now this one can carry 16,000 material kits. It might be worth sending the whole load up there. It's 18 tons. Now, what if I said we only take the material kits we're going to need? Well, I can't really... So I think it'd be 6 tons. Or we could use these, which are smaller. But they only carry 2,000. I need 3,500. Okay, so if you go to 2,000 material kits, and you go to 1,500. 1,600, close enough. That's 4.1 tons. That's a lot better. Okay, so this is going to need a way to dock to the station. I think I know where I want to dock it to. And we're going to need a large docking port. So let's just take a look. Yeah, those are actually fairly small. Just out of curiosity, if I were to use one of these instead, probably wouldn't look quite so ridiculous. No, we just had to find out some sort of structural adapter that I could use. Well, let's just see. Okay. What do we got as far as structures? Here we have octagirders, or hexagirder, modular trusses. We have these octagirders. I need to use at least this size to say we bring up batteries and monopropellant. Octagirder guidance unit. I don't know if that's such a great idea. I mean, it would work, but I'm trying to do something here that actually looks relatively plausible as well. No, I wouldn't want that. You can take an adapter ring. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Alright, so then what I'm going to want to do is I want to bring up some more science experiments. To run through the science lab up there. Because that's actually generating me a significant amount of good science. Okay, so if I go ahead and put our battery stack inside of here, as I typically like to do. As well as our remote guidance unit. And we put our communications antennas inside of there. Good. Now, I want to leave this part there. So what I'm going to need is either a decoupler or a docking port. I think a docking port is going to be a better idea. Docking port there. Docking port there. Docking port. Yeah, there we go. Alright, up there we have basic stuff. We have a Science Junior already done. We have a goo containment unit. We have the hydroponics module up there already. I think it has some thermometers as well. And maybe the barometers are also up there. Negative gravioli detectors are definitely not up there. So I'll take a few of those. The infrared telescope, no. We're not going to worry about that. Atmospheric fluid spectrovariometer, no, that's not going to help. Yeah, let's bring up those gravioli detectors. Pretty sure it has the barometers. Atmospheric sounder, no. The other thing I want to tuck in here are going to be RCS tanks. Several of them. Sure, why not? Close it up. And then we need the large docking port. There we go. Alright, so then that's going to dock to the station. This will release. It's going to need to deorbit itself somehow. I could take another one of those. With a pack of those batteries. it's going to need some... RCS. So it's going to need its own tank of RCS fuel. Which we can do. Oh, not that one. Not that one either. That one. Okay. Now, how are we going to put RCS on here? Yeah, like that. Yeah, there we are. And then we throw our RCS on here. That should do it. Okay. And I guess I can deorbit with RCS? Oh, that will be a pain in the butt. What if I were to throw some small RCS motors on there for the purpose of deorbiting? It's probably going to need some more RCS fuel. But that shouldn't be too hard to come by. $781 delta V. That should be enough. Okay. That'll deorbit it. What are we looking at? 9.8 tons? That's not too bad, all told. Now, the other thing that needs to be done is I need a satellite that can do the mineral scanning, because the one that we previously had there got kind of killed by a mod update. So I need another thing I can stack on here. Okay. It's obviously going to need some electrical. And a control unit, a guidance unit. Oh, speaking of, you are going to need your own communications as well. There you go. And then we're going to need communications here. There we are. And I'd like this thing to have an absolute ton of delta V, because it's going to need to do some significant maneuvers once we arrive in moon orbit. So Magnetoplasma dynamic thrusters would be nice. I could go ion. I go ion thrusters as well. Hall thrusters. .35 kilonewtons, 2.1 kilonewtons. These are 43.3 kilonewtons. Require 400 electric charge per second. So let's say that's what, 30 electric charge per second, and uses what? Argon gas? Okay. Actually, this whole stack. Pop that off for a second. Argon gas. Let's just experiment with it. Argon tanks. Okay. Argon tanks. There you go. There's an argon tank. And slap you on there. Now, for the actual thruster, we're going to need... fixed telescopic... No, that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is these. Are these? Yeah. Okay. In terms of profile, it definitely will fit in the fairing. Of course, the fairing can always adjust itself. But if we were to throw those on there, we're talking what? An absolute ton of delta V. Like... I just don't know, like, how much... How much, how quickly can it maneuver? That's going to be the one question. Oh well, I don't think it really matters, because, if the maneuvers take forever, I'll just do them off screen. So if we use these, they require 30 electric charge per second. So if we were to do that, it would need... For 4 of them, 120 electric charge per second. $120 electric charge per second. I could do a nuclear reactor. That produces 100 electric charge per second. You produce 400 electric charge per second. I think it's overkill. What can we get? 15 per second off of these. I mean, what are we looking at? That doesn't provide near enough what we need. 24.4 per second. 45 per second. I would need at least 3 of them. So if we were to put these on there... That would provide the needed electricity for the thrusters. Assuming, of course, you could get full sun on them. 4 per second. I think I haven't really been able to unlock the really good solar panels. That's kind of the one thing. Those are the best we got, and they're really large and bulky. But they might still work. Alright, and then what this thing is going to need on top is going to be this. No, just the one, please. Okay, yeah, as I said, that's going to be a fairly complicated payload. So there's 3 different things that this thing is doing. Alright. Alright, so we're going to need to put this... two. Oh yeah, the actual upper stage is going to need its own. Like, how heavy is this thing? 14 tons. I might want to rendezvous a tug with it. But yeah, the upper stage is still going to need its own guidance. Yeah. The procedural fairings don't really interact with that scanner very well. But it should be okay. Alright, some batteries. And I'm going to do just a typical configuration here for the core of the lifter. Oh, wrong one of those. Nope. That one. There we go. And then we'll slip you on there. And then we're going to need... some of those. All right. There's no crew here, but I'm going to set up an action group. Toggle those panels, and then extend those on separate groups. Okay. Alright, so you go first, then that, then that. Okay, right. 4,300 meters per second. If I just throw some boosters on here, I think it'll give me enough delta V where I might not need the tug. Huh. Sure. SRBs? Looking at an additional 1,400 meters per second. Alright, that sounds good. That sounds good. Launch clamps. There we are. And then we just need to get the fairing working. We're gonna do the ogive style. No, that works fine. Excellent. Excellent. That ought to do. So this is the multi-mission. I think that the Kerbals up there currently still have like 3 years of supplies left, so they're going to be fine for a little while. So if we need to do any kind of like supply stuff, I'll just run a special mission for it. Alright, separate that out into its own stage. Make sure you are there. Blow those. Fire that. Yes. Looks good. Save. And, let's launch this. Alright, we're going to automate it. Do not auto-deploy solar panels. I'll do that manually. Auto stage is fine. Stage the fairings. Yep. That's fine. Alright, engage the autopilot and let's light it. We're already kind of over our Q limit, but with those SRBs can't be throttled, so it'll be fine. So we're probably just going to coast for a little bit. Oh, there we go. No, I'm going to wait to deploy the fairings until that point in the staging. Well, I wasn't quite expecting that. Still have 700 meters per second on delta V left in the core stage. So I can actually... Actually, no. Retract those. Because they're not going to give us any electric charge at this point right now. Right now, go ahead and jettison those fairings. We're going to need 1,200 meters per second of delta V. Which is fine, because actually that means that the first... Well, this isn't really the first stage. This is actually the second stage, and that's the third stage. Is going to burn out before we get to orbit, which is good, because then we'll discard that. And why did you do that? Oh my. Looks like it's not gonna like the staging. So I'm probably going to have to manually fly this. You don't know. We only need 199 meters per second. Disengage the autopilot. Engage this. Orient prograde, please. And let's see if I can salvage this. I don't think I can. It's going to take far too long. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We have still... well, how much delta V? $1,400 meters per second. Oh, but half of our stuff is gone. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna let this crash. Oh, well, that should be fun. Because these solar panels are not gonna last. Surprised they haven't ripped off already. They're going to explode instead. Yep. Yeah, so I was looking at the back end of this thing and was like, wait a minute, where's my big port? Where's my big docking port? Because I was like, so if I have that big docking port, if I can just get in orbit, then I can get a tug over here and push it where it needs to be, but no, not without that docking port, that won't work. Ah, well. First attempt. I'm gonna be shocked if it survives. Well, while we wait for this thing to die, in whatever way that it is going to die, just want to mention how kind of awesome it was to see the SpaceX Demo 2 mission this weekend. Kind of watch that all live. First time SpaceX, a private company, launching humans into space successfully. Everything appears to have gone well. Docked and everything with the ISS. Without any trouble, it would seem. So that was fun. And, oh yeah, what was also fun is a Kerbal moment that they had with the Starship SN4. It had a RUD. Rapid Unplanned Disassembly. A rather spectacular one as well. Fortunately, no one was hurt. So, that's good. Just a big mess. And I am surprised the only thing we lost was the solar panels. Well, it's gonna lawn dart. Is it gonna hit the water or is it gonna hit the land? I think it's gonna hit the water. Well, swan dive rather than lawn dart. Alright, back to Space Center. Alright, well, I'll fly it manually this time then. This was MUN multi-mission, yes. I don't know why there's two of them. Alright, here we are. Does the staging look good? Staging looks good. Alright. Second attempt. I'm a little tall on the trajectory, which was kind of what the automated launch did as well, so that shouldn't be too big a deal. Alright, kill the engines. Alright, set up circularization maneuver. Alright, lock us to the maneuver node, please. Burn time is going to be 46 seconds. Alright. So that means we want to start the burn at 23 seconds. T-minus 23 seconds. Let's get rid of them fairings. Let's deploy those small solar panels. All right. T minus 23 seconds. And we are in orbit. Excellent. Electric charge is doing fine on those solar panels, so that means that all of the various computers are fine. And actually, we should probably separate those into different stages, even though that it really isn't going to matter. All right. So, set as target. We're going to use the maneuver planner to create our node, the initial node, and then I always want to modify that just a little bit. I think that's going to come at it the wrong angle. Let me switch focus to the moon, or the mun. And yeah, that is definitely not how I want to approach. I want to come at it from that side. No, that's way too fast. I think I might, because it should only be about like that much. Let's see, if we just change the timing of the node a little bit. There we go. That's better. Much better. Okay. What I want you to do is execute the node, please. This is only at 500 meters per second at delta V in here. Okay, hold on. Cancel the node then. No, I gotta have more than that in there. All right. This is being goofy right now. And it's because I have a weird arrangement of engines on this vehicle, because I basically have like 3 sets. Okay. So we're going to do this the manual way. All right. So yeah, we're gonna do this manually then. Burn time 14 minutes. What are you talking about? It has no idea how to figure this out. You know what? I'll go ahead and grab a gravity scan. Yeah, it has absolutely no idea how to sort this out. So 800 meters per second is probably going to be somewhere around a 30-second burn. Alright, so we'll go to T-minus 15 seconds and start our burn there. Alright, I'll grab some gravity scans, because I can probably throw that data into the science lab once we're there. Or 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. Alright, there we are. And burn. I was really close on that guess. Really close. Alright, so what's our resultant trajectory? 419,000 meters? That'll do. Alright, let's warp us out there. Oh, I need to actually focus on the ship. There we go. Okay. So, let's go ahead and add a maneuver for circularization. Excellent. That's going to be another 195 meters per second, which we should have plenty of juice left in this tank for that. Okay. Burn time 3 minutes. My butt. Burn time is going to be something like 5 seconds. For whatever reason, it's basing the burn times on these engines rather than this one. When those aren't even the ones that are turned on. But once we're circularized, we're going to detach that particular piece of hardware, and it's going to go about its business, and then we need to get the rest of this over to the station. There we go. And yep. Decouple. Let's back us off. And then this guy needs to deploy its solar panels before it runs out of juice. There we go. Now, this guy needs to be in a polar orbit. Right, you need to be in a polar orbit. We don't actually have an overlay right now. Alright, let's activate our engines. Now, here is where I'm going to go ahead and do my maneuver planner for this guy. Because what I want to do is change inclination to 90. Create the node. Yeah, we want to put it in the polar orbit. Node in 30 minutes. It'll take 1 minute and 35 seconds for the maneuver. That will be fine. Hopefully we will get sufficient electric charge from this orientation. Go. These are what? Lensed Hall effect thrusters, right? Okay. And what on earth is it doing? Why is that counting up rather than counting down? Oh, because we were controlling from the wrong side. Well. It was controlling from there rather than from there. Oh my god. This has been just all types of problems. Oh well, it doesn't need to be a perfect polar orbit, it just needs to be mostly polar. Let's see what we get. Electric charge is fine. We got 4,000 meters per second delta V. I mean, we could send this thing to other planets if we wanted to. Energy flow, energy flow. Yeah, we're getting plenty. All right, what's the orbit looking like? Okay, that's perfectly fine. We're going to need to lower it to about... Let's see, what's your altitude? 300? Yeah, we're probably going to have... Let's see, what's your altitude? 180... Probably drop this down to about 150. 150 kilometers. Let's see. Change the periapsis at the next apoapsis to 150 kilometers. Create and execute. Oh, we're going in that direction. Okay. That's fine. This, actually, we want to rename this vessel, most likely. Yeah, we're going to call this the Moon Resource Scanner. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to circularize at the next periapsis. Create and execute. Alright, and then this will get this guy into position. Excellent. Alright, so that can just sit there for now. Actually, let me just toggle the resource display. Toggle the display. There we are. Resource. Dirt, exotic minerals, gypsum, hydrates, carbonite, metallic ore. What I'm looking for primarily for our initial resourcing operation is going to be just plain old ore, which is everywhere. Excellent. Xeon gas, alumina, dirt. Yeah, turn the overlay off for the time being. Okay, so now we need you on multi-mission. Switch to Alright, and you have proper electric charge? You do. Grab another gravity scan. Keep it. Alright. So, next thing I want to do is set as target. How close is that going to get us? 0.0 kilometers. I want a little bit more separation than that. 6.1 kilometers. That's a bit more than I'd like. .1 kilometers. We're getting closer. 1.7 kilometers. There we go. Now, after we've detached everything, I want to make sure that we are still controlling from the right spot, because I don't want to have that same problem happen. Alright, execute the node. Actually, turn the RCS off. We don't want to use it right now. I know I can grab a gravity scan. Do it. I just want to go ahead and get this thing docked. So we're going to make this a bit of a longer episode than I typically do, which is fine. Alright, match velocities with target at closest approach. More than enough. Yeah, how much life support do they have? EC expired, that's not correct. They have over 3 years, yeah. there it is. 4.9 kilometers off? Well, that's a bit more than I was anticipating, but it's fine. It is fine. Alright, let's decouple a node. And you know what I just realized? This does not have any solar panels. Alright, so we just gotta get far enough away. And then redock. Okay. Well, Alright, switch SES, aim towards target. We are going to have to make some adjustments. All right. All right, 12 meters per second. We're getting into the physics range now. Okay. Orient us, retrograde. Yeah, now we're starting to get some performance impact with the complexity of that station. Alright, burn that velocity off. Alright, orient towards the target again. Alright, ever so slightly throttle up. 2.5 meters per second. Orient retrograde to the station. Now what I'm going to have to hope is that I can just get really close to where I want to be, and then the batteries will last long enough. That's what I'm hoping. All right. There we go. Let's undock. Electric charge is dropping ever so slightly. All right, let's back it off. Oh, nope, that's the wrong way. Alright. Alright, we need to begin controlling from here. Enable the docking camera. I want to get to actually the closest port right now. Let's just head for that one. Let's just head for that one. Wow, that induces a lot of rotation. Okay. Oh, I gotta burn off. It's these. Let's disable these RCS for the moment, and these as well. Because they're gonna cause problems. Okay. See, much more stable. Actually, I really want to attach there is actually where I ultimately want to be. Alright. I'm like flipped around 180 degrees. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Electric charge is fine. Ooh, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Alright, we are lined up. Wobbling all over the place, but we're there. And connected. Perfect. Now, what I'd like to do is open this up for a second. Let's see. Review data. Send that to the lab. How's the lab doing? Okay. Doing fine. Review data. Send that to the lab. Review data, send it to the lab. Review data, send it to the lab. Excellent. And we probably have another gravity scan I can do that we can then also send to the lab. All right, very good. Now, because we also have material kits connected to the station, I should now be able to inflate the ring, finally. You know what? Fine. Transmit it. Alright. Ring is inflated. Let's begin rotation. Alright. So Kerbals are now going to finally have some area with some artificial gravity to use. I could have brought up a larger ring, but I think that is good for now. Another gravity scan? Really? Transmit it back home? Well, yeah, every single biome that we fly over is going to have its own gravity scan. Alright, and then... this guy will just continue to process the data, and then, I don't necessarily need to detach and return that just yet. But the one other thing that I want to do here is go ahead, put you on orbit, put you on retrograde, and then tell you to send yourself home. Well, send yourself to the surface. Done. You know what? I will go ahead and decouple that node. There we are. Well, where are the engines oriented? They're pointed down this way, so we want to control from here. Right? R. That's right. I didn't turn on these RCS. Well, we're gonna give a little bit of a bump there, but nothing too bad. Okay. There we go. Now, what I want you to do is also switch to orbit and also switch to retrograde. And you have a clear line of sight. So go ahead and activate your engines, please. Alright then, I will do it manually. Alright. Go ahead and burn them. There we go. Alright. So that was fairly successful. Took a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but got it done. Alright, so I think the next project is going to be to start bringing up some actual, like, utility modules. You know, we're going to need a reactor, we're going to need a ISRU converter, or a resource converter, and we're going to need some tanks to store some resources and some products. And then we're going to need some sort of vehicle that can mine for ore, and then bring it up here and deliver it. Another gravity scan. There we go. Send it back. And another one. Send it back. Okay, but we'll go ahead and stop here for today. And, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.